Hey folks, welcome to another video on Worldographer 2025. I'm Joe Wetzel, the creator of the program, and you likely know by now that we've been in the process of creating the next major update to Worldographer, which we're calling the 2025 version. And we've got a new update to the preview for that. This is preview 1.14. The latest functionality is really just one new feature, but it's a pretty large one. It's one of the ones that won our initial poll during our crowdfunding for the 2025 version, and that is universal VTT export. So a lot of people want to make maps in Worldographer that will export to universal VTTs or to VTTs with the lighting information all set up and everything for them. Of course, normally you can export the image and then import the image and then, kind of hand create the lighting if that's important to you for your games. But this functionality is kind of the first step to get there automatically. So definitely want to give a big thanks to Aaron, who's in charge or has created the Roll20's Universal VTT import script plug-in type thing. And he spent a good, good chunk of time over the course of a couple of afternoons answering some questions for me as I was kind of debugging all this. So thanks, Aaron. Also, thanks to the folks who created this format, which is the folks behind Dungeon Draft. So thanks for creating it. And at the moment, Worldographer is supporting what's there for the Universal VTT format. Might want to add some more stuff to it because it is something that's extensible, particularly to support hexes and hex sizes and alignments of hex grids and so forth, along with notes and yada yada. There's a lot more that could be done, but right now it's really just about the walls and your light sources. What I've got in front of me here is an auto-generated tavern map that I've been working with for my example, as well, which has some additions made to it and some changes that I had to make in order for this functionality to work. You can see that I've got this 3/4 circle up here, so this is just an oval shape, and I wanted to test that ovals work, and I wanted to test if incomplete ovals will work. And get that working, as well as strange curves where we've got a curved line, which is done with this button over here, where you've got the anchor points and two control points in order to kind of get a smooth curve. So we've got that added in, as well as these two columns down here, because we wanted to have a couple of things that would block light. Potentially a couple of features that will block light. And then I added the torches as well to be light sources, although fireplaces I've also set up to be light sources by default. The big change that still needs to kind of happen in Worldographer is that the walls that are created through our generators, our tavern generator and our house generator and so on, they all the walls are just polygons. They're just boxes, and we stick the doors and windows on top. And the problem there is that the wall is still underneath that window by default, so it would still be blocking light. What needs to happen to get all this functionality to work is for me to change up the generators to kind of remove the section of the wall that would overlap with a window or a door. So look for that in a future update in the near future for Worldographer. But right now, I basically took the randomly generated tavern and I made the room that was there, which was a shape, which was a polygon, and it had a tag of room, and I removed that room tag. Now, right now, the way that the import is working is that if a tag has a room in the tags for a shape, that will block light. That line will be transferred over and will block light. Likewise, though, also wall. So I created some new, I removed those tags from the other rooms, and I added in a wall tag for some new lines. And I just created a line from here, point point to this other window, and then create another one from here and across and around like that, and another one from here up here across and over to this window and so forth. So I created a series of like 10 lines or so to serve as that wall, and made sure that they showed up, that they would show up underneath the door. But again, the doors and the windows are not being overlapped by that new wall anyway. And then and like I said, I had added these torches in the columns and these shapes up here for testing purposes. So let's pull up the dialog for exporting. So we've got this new option here, export as UVTT file, and we'll just go over the stipulations that are here. So it's an early version, and it's working best with battle mats. It's designed to be with battle mats. Not really doing any testing yet for the other map types. Walls are going to be, any shapes that have the tag wall included. Also, like I said, room, I believe, would also be included there. I'll probably update that little text before we put this out. Wall lines need to stop, not overlap with the doors and windows, like I was just saying. For doors and windows. So any feature with the word door is going to be treated as a door, and any feature that has the word window in it is going to be a window. And then likewise, any features that have torch or fire in them are going to be light sources. Now, that probably could also be expanded, for other types of objects that might emit light as well, and potentially we'll also change that up to include things that have a tag of light. That may be the better way to go with it. This is still, an early version, and if I didn't say it already, this is functionality that's happening in the 1.14 preview. If you've got 1.13, you're not going to have that. If you've got 1.15, well, then some of these little nuances that I'm discussing might be already worked out by then. But this is the gist of it. So when you go to File and you go to Export as a VTT file, it's going to bring up that dialog, and if you were to hit Continue, it's going to bring up a file manager so you can save it as a file with the .uvtt extension. Now, I've already done that, so I'm not going to do that here, but trust me, that's the way that it would work. And then I'm going to pull over my file chooser from off screen, but I'm also going to go to the Roll20's Universal VTT Import Sanitizer, which is here. And the image is embedded into that UVTT file. So, and it's for us, for Worldographer, it is using the settings, the tile width and height that you've got set up over here when you export. So whatever those settings are when you export, then that's what's going to be embedded in the file. That's this resolution that's embedded into the file. Roll20 happens to use 70 by 70, so it's kind of easiest to do that. But if you need to export it at some other size, you can change it here. And all the virtual tabletops are also going to let you adjust their grid as well, so you can adjust on the other side too. So what you would do is you would right-click this map and then save that off to your file or save that off to your file system somewhere, and then you're going to want to take this this text here and just copy this and have it ready to go. Now in Roll20, you're going to create a new game, and I've just got this test game that I've got here, and I've created a new page, and I'm going to go to the configuration options for this new page. I'm going to say that I want the dynamic lighting on, and I want the Explorer mode on, and then I can set the darkness opacity to something else. Now I'd like it to be a little bit higher than the default, which was like 35, I think was the default, just so I can see a little bit better the difference. So I hit Save Settings, hit Close, and I want to make sure that I'm on the map layer here. Now, I am just a beginner with Roll20. I'm not, I've used it for a few different game sessions, over the years, probably like 8 or 10 a year, but that's about it. So I'm on my file chooser on the other side over here, and I can go over to Move, so I can upload this file into here. What you're seeing here on the sidebar is the last time that I was testing this functionality. I can drag the map there like so. So that's what I'm going to do. And it does have a little bit of a snap functionality to it where it's trying to put it up in that corner, so as long as you get close enough. And then I'm going to double click it to pull up the dynamic lighting and notes information. Now for notes, I'm going to go ahead and hit Control V for all that stuff that I copied out of the import sanitizer. I hit save. And then once that's been saved, I can do !UVTT. Now you do have to have a pro license for Roll20 to have their API scripts enabled, and then you have to add their API scripts, and setting that up is outside the bounds of Worldographer and the video, my expertise. I've just had, kind of Aaron walk me through it one time, but he's got instructions there on the Universal VTT Sanitizer page. Then once that's done, you're going to have this, where it does tell you, hey, it imported 15 lines, 2 object lines, which are my columns, the doors, and lights. I'm going to scroll this whole window a little bit here, so you can see all that, So that's, you can see that the light is taking effect. If we go to the light layer, in fact, you're going to see it a little bit more bluntly. But you can see where all the doors are marked and where the windows are marked, and here are the objects here. And you can see that, yes, in fact, our circle and our curved line did work. We can go to the tokens layer, and over here I can pull up the art assets, and I can go through, and you can find, well, we can stick to the free assets. You can find a token of anybody at all. Just pick a random free person. Let's take this one, and then you can click on that person, and you can get their settings here, and you can do dynamic lighting, and you can do token vision on, and go to that they emit light, and we'll just give them 10 feet of bright light and 10 more feet of low light. Hit save settings, and now I'm seeing the view of the world from their point of view, and I can walk over to here, and you can see like this pillar is blocking the light over there. And now I do have it set up so that the doors, I can walk through the doors. There's a way to set those, make them blocking so that the player can't move through them. But if I'm now in here, you can see, hey, I can't see beyond those doors effectively. Once I get into here, then I'm seeing everything, and things look pretty bright actually. So you can see all that's working. If I'm in this room here, you can see I can even see out the window. I can see what's there out the window. If I come back up, let me scroll the map back up here a little bit. But if I'm on, this side of the wall, I can't see the other side. If I'm in this, circle area, I can only see where there's a gap in the circle. So that, kind of shows that all the functionality is there. It's working, at least for a first cut. I'm sure that people will find some things that are lacking that we'll be adding in. So I encourage you to check, if this was important to you, I encourage you to check out the 1.14 update and to download it and give it a try with the caveats, that, like it says in the in this dialog here. File, export as UVTT. Make sure that you go through the process of kind of setting up that map. Maybe make a very simple one. Make just a square building with, with the tag for that outer, for the walls to be wall, and add in a window or two and add a door or two, and let me know how it goes. So that's the 1.14 update is really all about this. We'll probably be working on some smaller fixes and smaller features as we get feedback on this, and add to this as well. There probably will be some more things that I'll be adding into here. In the 1.15 and 1.16 versions of the preview, you're going to see that the time frame for the demo has been extended again a little bit, but I expect that we'll be sending out licenses before the end of November to folks. So everybody who backed the crowdfunding will be getting their licenses before the end of the month. And then likewise, there's a couple of classes of people that bought licenses recently to Worldographer who will be getting licenses, or that have backed the crowdfunding after the fact, or have been long-term backers, or Patreon and so forth. So there'll be a few other folks, but we'll be getting the licenses out there shortly. And if we don't get yours by the end of the month, then drop us a note, because oftentimes something weird happened where somebody had an old PayPal address, and somehow our store software picked up that address instead of whatever you're using currently. Things like that happen. So send us a note if you don't get a license and you think you should have, and we'll work it out, or identify. Yeah, well, actually, you're not eligible for a free license, or maybe you get a discounted license. There's certain scenarios for that too. So again, give it a try. We'll have a link to the download page. Give it a try. Let us know what you think. Let us know what else you want to see. Again, I always hope that this allows you to make some great looking maps and quickly. Thanks a bunch.